One thing I think is kind of silly in jujitsu is this idea of a mat enforcer, which I don't think I've ever trained at a gym there was an official mat enforcer, but there might have been, and I just didn't know about it because I was being mat enforced. I don't know. But the thing about it is, like, to me, jujitsu is about self-reliance. So what does a mat enforcer even do? Like, apparently, what, they beat up people who are beating other people up? I mean, and then no one's ever communicating though. So like that person who's being enforced, they don't know. They don't, like, they're just like, yeah, that was a good roll. They don't like, are they really getting what you think they get out of this, especially since you're basically modeling the behavior that you don't want them to have. So the mat enforcer's beating the person up, and the person's like, wow, that's how I want to be too. This person's really good. And then they just keep beating people up. Like, I understand that guys don't like to communicate verbally, but I really feel like there's more than a mat enforcer. Like, we need a mat interpreter, a mat communicator. Because again, I understand that guys don't really like to communicate that way. And a lot of times they might be Brazilian, their command of English might be so so. But even if it's like the same language, they either are not good at words or they don't want to lose a student. They don't want to come off as the bad guy. And I can totally understand, like, in this economy that we've had for a while now, like, you don't want to lose a student. You're losing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars over the course of your career. Of course you don't want to lose a student. And of course, from like most of us who are in this, I don't have an academy, like, disclaimer. um we genuinely believe in jujitsu, like, not just jujitsu as a fun sport, but jujitsu's ability to change people's lives for the better, right? So you really don't want to see someone walk away with hurt feelings. And so what ends up happening is that problems don't get addressed, or they're addressed in a way like this mat enforcer way that, to me, again, is just silly, because you are modeling the behavior that you don't want the person to have. So of course, when the behavior is being modeled, just like if you have a father who loses his temper and yells, and then you tell the kid, don't yell at your sister, it's like, well, then you're going to have to stop modeling that behavior, right? So to me, rather than a mat enforcer, maybe designate a mat communicator. Have it be someone like a sales guy or sales girl who's good at talking, and almost like a good cop, bad cop scenario, where this person can come in and be like, hey, in this gym, this is how they do it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but this is how they do it. They really, like, if you're training with the girl, this is how it goes. Or even with the girls, like I said, I think I've been mat enforced myself because people thought that, oh, you're going too hard. But like, to me, the guys always go as hard as they want with me, and I didn't even like land a submission till I was a purple belt, like, because I landed a couple triangles back when my knees used to still work, but it's not easy when guys are not letting you get stuff. Because my first instructor said, he was like, to me, you're just as strong as me and you're just the same as a guy, and there were no other girls. He's like, so I'm not giving you special treatment. And I'm like, good, I don't want special treatment. But then when I would train with girls, I would train the way I was used to training with guys, and then the girls would get hurt feelings about it. But rather than talking to me and being like, hey, what's going on, people would just like kind of beat me up. And I was like, okay, like, I mean, I felt like, all right, you're 100 pounds heavier than me. I feel like you're going kind of hard, but I didn't cry about it. You know what I mean? So I think I might have been mat enforced in my life. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, I think that we need to communicate for the good of everybody, to keep everybody as safe as possible. Of course, jujitsu is not a safe space. It's the farthest thing from it. And yet at the same time, like, I want to say that 99% of jujitsu injuries are totally avoidable if you explain, like, first of all, tap early, tap often. That used to be standard on every jujitsu mat, and now people seem to take pride in not tapping, and their instructors are like proud of them. Like, there's a sunken submission, you're gurgling and you're not tapping. Like, we used to make fun of people who did that. People who refused to tap to a sunken submission, they used to be mocked relentlessly. So So somebody need, like, to me again, I think we need a MAT communicator, a MAT interpreter, someone who is like good cop, bad cop, someone who's there to explain to the students, here's what's going on, someone to troubleshoot when there is a problem.